This is a Regained Wellness podcast with Jamie Logie, episode 163. What are the best greens you should be eating?
Up in the valley of the Jolly Green Giant.
I'm going fishing today. If anything new happens, call me.
Hey, Sprout!
Already?
It's something really new. The Giant's LeSueur brand peas combined with a variety of vegetables like tiny peas with carrots and onions, all frozen in specially seasoned sauces. Delicious. New Green Giant brand LeSueur combinations.
Doesn't that giant ever take a day off?
Green Giant.
Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jamie Logie. I run regainedwellness.com, and this is Regained Wellness Podcast. So thanks for coming on out today. If you're brand new, extra special welcome. Not that previous listeners aren't specially welcomed, but I appreciate you checking out this show. And like I said, if you're new, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way you get all the newest episodes that come out automatically sent to you. I don't have to mail them. I save money on postage and shipping. And I got a lot of old episodes too that cover a lot of really great topics from every aspect of health, nutrition, fitness that you can think of. So make sure you subscribe. And today, talking about eating your greens, and shout out to the Jolly Green Giant to start off the show. That commercial's back from, I think, 1976. So if you remember that, kudos. If not, if you have no idea who the Green Giant is, whatever. This is all about, not like, you need to eat greens, but this will be about which ones are your best choices, your best go-tos, and why. So what you should be focusing on to make sure you get a good dosage in each day. So let's get right to it. So greens might be one of those things you just, hopefully are eating and not even necessarily thinking about why you eat them. But sometimes you get lost, like, well, what am I actually, I know I have to eat these, but what is it actually doing for me? And how do I keep it up, and what's going behind all this stuff? So so not all salad greens are created equal. So when we're looking at, primarily in this case, we're looking for like dark leafy greens, and those are your go-tos for vegetables. So on a daily basis, you should be aiming for, honestly, double-digit servings of non-starchy vegetables each day. So, going easy on rice and grains and pastas and stuff like that, and potatoes and whatever, depending on your activity level. That changes the conversation a bit. But whether you're trying to keep weight down or you're an Olympian, greens are still going to be the cornerstone. All vegetables as well, too. Like, you want to be eating, like they say, a rainbow of colors, definitely. Like, as far as, things that are deeper, rich purples are good, or like good reds, tomatoes and bell peppers and things like that. And someone said this in the summer, and I thought this was common knowledge, but if you see, I'm surprised I didn't know this. And in case you didn't, whatever, it's, when you see yellow peppers, green peppers, red peppers, it's all the same pepper. It's just various stages of ripeness along the way. Like, as a tomato, will be green at one point as it eventually goes red. I don't know. I thought everyone was aware of that, but shout out to this person who I won't name. So again, yeah, a wide variety of colors is good, eating the rainbow, but your best bang for your buck are going to be greens, especially anything green colored, and especially dark leafy greens. And the darker the color, the better. So you're looking at, we're going to cover all sorts of things like, kale and arugulas and whatever. And you could stick with the same thing all the time. Like, say it's just kale or spinach, which is great, but they're still going to differ in the vitamin and mineral content that they have. So it's not that like one green is superior above all others. There's a couple of front runners, but it's ideally, again, that variety and exposing yourself as many things as possible. So we'll kind of go in order here. So some of these are like ones I'm very familiar with and eat all the time. And then a few more, I got some more information from everydayhealth.com. They do a lot of good breakdowns on specific ingredients and why those are so good, and research into them. And a lot of these ones you've probably heard of obviously before, but just a quick rundown on why they're so good. So we'll go, this is kind of in order ish. It's if you had to pick the top couple and then work your way down. So number one here is going to be kale. And if you're sick of hearing about kale, I totally understand. It's been sort of the darling of the nutrition world and the restaurant world actually too, because kale is such a sort of a vigorous, strong leaf. It really holds up well to like dressing, salad dressing, salads, stuff like that. So chefs love using it because it's very robust. It's not going to like wilt and go all crappy and whatever. It holds its shape and it's like spring to it and stuff like that. But it's obviously like it's trendy for a reason. It's huge, got a huge content of vitamins and minerals. So, okay, first if you're looking at 1 cup, you're going to have only 33 calories. You're going to have 6 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber, and surprisingly 3 grams of protein. You can get a decent little amount in there. And you're looking at vitamin-wise, your daily requirement for vitamin A, vitamin C, most people that catches them off guard, and vitamin K. It's a great cancer-fighting vegetable. It's high in phytonutrients. Again, the darker green you can get, usually the higher it's got that natural chlorophyll, like that phytonutrient content. So these are, natural chemicals that in our body have, ability to help in fighting some of those diseases and like heart disease and whatever. So it's a little higher in calorie. Not that these calories are an issue whatsoever, but just that it's a little more substantial than other greens. And at the same time, it's going to provide, besides with those vitamins, mineral-wise, a good dose of iron, a good dose of calcium, and also potassium. So it makes for the perfect, if you are making salads and whatever, it honestly is the best base for any salad because it goes with a lot of stuff. And like I said, it holds up well. It holds dressings well. And it goes well with, if you're mixing things up together, some other more like robust ingredients like squash, like especially roasted squash. It's good as a bed for that. Nuts in it, seeds, all sorts of stuff, beans. They're very hearty. It mixes well with other hearty ingredients. So not only is it versatile and very usable, it's probably got the best nutrition out there. So it's probably top of the list here for greens. Number 2, you probably guess, is going to be spinach, which is a close second to kale. And honestly, probably my favorite green, the one I use the most. Kale a bit, but if you like making your own smoothies or whatever, kale is a bit of a nightmare unless you have like a $9,000 Vitamix that just pulverizes anything. Those things can like liquidize an iPhone. Kale is a little tough to break down, where spinach is awesome for smoothies and stuff like that. And smoothies, I'm a big fan. They're a good way to get greens in every day. It can be, the problem with greens is it can be a little labor intensive because you have to constantly be getting them. It's not something like you can buy in bulk because you know how bad this stuff goes quickly. If you don't get it within 2 to 3 days, things can go rotten and you can end up throwing out a lot. The average household's throwing around 20 pounds of food a month. And over the course of the year, that adds up to a good, $2,000+ just in wasted food. And produce is at the top of the list. The fact that it breaks down is a good indicator that we should be eating it. The food that breaks down like that indicates a high biological value, like they call, and that shows it has a lot of sort of living enzymes in it, and it can break down, and it's better for you as far as digestive reasons and those enzymes you're going to get and stuff like that. So, fruit, berries, green stuff, it breaks down pretty quick. So you want to get it fresh, but it can be, it depends how often you're able to go out shopping. So you're running the store 2-3 times a week because these greens could potentially go bad. So in the case of smoothies, it's a good way to get them in. You can make up a bunch and they'll last a little bit longer. You can use what you need. You're not hopefully going to throw out a lot of them. So a good smoothie a green smoothie should be based around greens, especially like spinach, because it works well. You want to be careful as far as going overboard with fruit. I know like that sounds good, it makes them sweeter, but fruit does better when you eat it intact as opposed to sort of like breaking it down and juicing it, which just kind of elevates, that high level of natural fruit sugar, which if you have blood sugar issues can cause insulin spikes and surges and whatnot compared to the greens. So a good mix is, using like a cupful of spinach. If you have like a good plain, say like a protein powder, you can throw that in. Some ice, you could throw in a few. If you're using some fruit, go for something that's a little more lower glycemic, like blueberries or raspberries or blackberries. You can put in, or you can mix like, if you don't do the berries, you can do like a green apple, again, which is a bit lower sugar, but it's got a good high fiber content. You can throw in a bit of lemon, stuff like that. So there's lots of variations on that, but you always want it to be green based in general. So in the case of spinach, when you're looking at a portion, and spinach is a little tough because, if you cook it, you can have a mound of spinach the size of like a Buick. And when you cook it down, it fits in the palm of your hand, just because of the amount of like the high water content that's in it. And there's various debates on whether cooked spinach is better than raw spinach, as far as nutrient content and whatever. And some info says that the cooked spinach, as long as it's not cooked on a super high temperature, can actually provide some more, a bit higher level nutrition than the raw. And again, like, cooking at a gentle temperature, because when you cook something too high, you can really break down its nutrient content. In either case, as long as you're getting it in somehow, that's the main point. However you like it best and that you're more likely to eat it, go with that. The smoothie way is super convenient. And so if you're looking at a serving that's 2 cups, you've got around 14 grams of carbs, 14 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 1.5 grams of fiber, and like 1.5 grams of protein. So it's got a great nutrient profile, and it's like that stupid cliche Popeye thing, but it really does. It's almost like a multivitamin. It's got a lot of vitamin A, it's got a lot of vitamin C, vitamin K. Again, it's got that iron, it's got fiber, it's got probably more folic acid than most salad greens. And, and folic acid helps convert the food you eat into energy. It also helps produce healthy red blood cells. So it's a power-packed green. And again, it's maybe even a little more versatile than the kale because it goes with a lot of stuff. And it does well with, in salads, it does really well with, feta on it, or, goat cheese or fig-based stuff. You can throw strawberries in. It does awesome with balsamic dressings. I don't know. It's very good. It's good like in the summer. It's good in the winter. If I'm making a salad, I keep it pretty simple. I'll use spinach. I'll take some grilled chicken, sort of cut into strips. I'll throw in some red onion, depending what I've got on hand, maybe a little bit of avocado. I'll throw in a little bit of feta cheese, and then I'll make my own dressing out of olive oil. I like those infused olive oils. Like if you can find sort of basil or herb infused, just sort of gives it a little more of that garden freshness, and then a little bit of balsamic vinegar and mix that together. Perfect. Easy. It doesn't take a lot of time. So number 2 was spinach. The next one we'll go with a little foreign choice, but it's always in the top list of the best greens you can eat, Swiss chard. And again, you're probably not eating it either because you can't find it or you don't know what it is. But Swiss chard is a relative of the beet family. And again, it's going to taste like spinach, and it's getting more popular. Like I said, you've probably seen it. Like if you shop at Whole Foods or markets or farmers market, you've probably seen Swiss chard because it's relatively easy to grow, and it's being grown in more places because it's getting popular. Interestingly, it has a higher sodium count than other salad greens. So if it's probably not going to be an issue at all, but just worth noting. So again, loaded with vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K. It's got some calcium, also some iron. And say if you're looking at a 2-cup serving, pretty much the same as spinach. It's going to have 14 calories, 3 grams of carbs, a gram of fiber, and a gram of protein. So it's, if it's new to you, it might not be something you want to like make an entire salad based out of, but like mix it in with some other greens and some other vegetables. So Swiss chard is one of those perfect examples of adding in to get some more variety as opposed to always just eating that kale and that spinach or whatever. So you're going to get a little bit more nutrition from it, and it's going to match with those other items. Okay, we're progressing along well here. I feel like I should take a commercial break, but no, I don't do that. Don't worry. So next one, going to be number 4 here. It's going to be watercress. And again, that might be something new to you. If you're from Europe or England, you know all about watercress, and you probably had watercress sandwiches. And I ate those when I was there for some reason. And some people think it's like a garnish, but it's really an awesome, awesome green. It's going to be more nutrient rich than, just regular lettuce and romaine lettuce. See, whenever people buy, only issue I have is like when people buy salads and whatever, they just go for like the usual run of the mill romaines and normal, you can buy in those little bags and whatever. And I mean, it's good because you're getting in vegetables, but these are really not the best choices, especially when you look at these lettuce bags and the majority of them are white. Like it's like white lettuce leaves. You're really not getting, you're almost drinking a cup of water. There's going to be obviously some nutrition, but like we're looking at that dark, deep green colored leaves. That's where the real, like the phytonutrients are and everything like that. And you don't necessarily find them always in those romaine lettuces and whatever. Again, still good, and, mix it up. But like when we're looking here at watercress, it's more nutrient rich than romaine lettuce and stuff like that. So it's, again, it's got in one serving, it's got basically almost half your daily recommended intake of vitamin A, vitamin K. It's got half your daily recommended intake for vitamin C. And this is in a serving size for this is considered around 2.5 cups. So 10 calories basically. It's pointless to say the calories in this. They're negligible, like they're irrelevant. You can eat this stuff by the truckload, and it's not an issue. Carbs, it's like 1 gram of carbs. It's got half a gram of fiber, 2 grams of protein, surprisingly. So again, like I mentioned vitamin K a bit here, which all these greens have. So vitamin K, it's got a whole different history to it, and it used to be more available, and then there's different, whether it's needed by prescription and stuff like that. Basically, vitamin K creates proteins that are necessary for normal blood clotting, but also helps build stronger bones, and then obviously can protect against osteoporosis. So it's, vitamin K, I mean, depending on conditions or issues, it's something you have to consult with doctors and whatever. So, but I mean, if you're eating, if it's something you're needing, I think, everyone could have benefit from increased bone strength and protection against osteoporosis. So another reason just to be eating dark green leafy vegetables is you're going to get this natural vitamin K source. Okay, so that was number 4. Let's go to number 5. We'll go into the better ideal romaine lettuce. Like I said before, like when you see the normal, like kind of white, not dark green colored romaine, that, it's not your go-to choice. So when we're looking at romaine, this is when you want to find, look around. Like if your store doesn't have it, you might want to look elsewhere. But romaine should be coming in a dark green color. Really long leaves. It should be super fresh and crunchy. That's why it's really good for salads. And again, it's another one of those sources of folic acid. Keeping in mind, you're finding a dark green variety of it. You're going to have a rich amount of vitamin A and K. Not as much of a mineral powerhouse as the other ones I mentioned. So this is where it's good, and that's when you're getting the best version, the best dark green type. So you can imagine if you're getting like a light colored, whitish version, it's going to be so down on nutrients, because even the best form of it isn't a super powerhouse, but it does have a little bit, and it's great because you can mix it with some more of those other things. This is where you can mix it with some Swiss chard, or throw some kale in, and then you kind of have like your own blend right there where you're going to have a higher antioxidant content, and whatever. So when you look at, you can buy those pre-packaged combination salad greens, and they're pretty good, but just look and see what the majority of the lettuce or like the greens that are based in it, because sometimes they'll say like, oh, it's got baby kale and spinach, but the majority of it can sometimes be something like a romaine, where there's only like a handful of the actual more beneficial stuff. So it's nice the ones that have like a blend of all sorts of stuff that'll have, 4 or 5 different things in there. But so if you do buy those prepackaged ones, just have a look and see what it's primarily containing. Ideally, you want it to be more favored on the side of those other top ones, the spinaches and the kales and whatever. But like I said, it works well in a blend just to get that wider variety. It does, and it's great in, again, like I said, in salads, because it's like that super strong leaf, so it holds oils and balsamics and stuff like that very well, and keeps things crisper. So when you're looking at, with romaine, because it's so big, a portion size is considered 6 leaves. So in that portion size, you're going to have 30 calories, around 5.5 grams of carbs, 3.5 grams of fiber, a good amount, and 2 grams of protein. Okay, so now we'll get into if we're looking at actual lettuce. So you see how far down lettuce is on the list here. So we're at number 6. It's, eating greens is not based around getting lettuce. It's not your top choice, but it's still a good choice, and we'll look at it why. So in this case, you want to be looking for red lettuce, or again, the greenest lettuce you can find. It's good because it's not, again, it mixes well with other ingredients because it doesn't have a super bold flavor. It's a little more mild, and it's easier for, people who are picky eaters or kids or whatnot. It's a little more palatable. I don't know what it is. It seems almost like fresher. And I don't know, more of a different mouthfeel. It's not as tough to break down. It's springier, stuff like that. I don't know. So kids tend to sometimes do better with this. Or if you've been having trouble, like you've been wanting to get into healthier eating, and again, you don't want to jump right into the Swiss chard, start with red or green leaf lettuce, because again, it's not overpowering as far as flavor, but you're still going to get a little bit, the vitamin A, the vitamin K, not a ton of fiber, but so it's not going to fill you up as much as the other high fiber veggies. And I mean, that's one of your big benefits with things like salads and these items I'm listing off, is they have a high fiber content. And that's one of the big things that promotes fullness, along with basically you have 4 things that promote satiation and feeling full and staying full longer. So you've got protein, fiber, water, and healthy fats. Vegetables, these greens, you've got 2 right there. You got the fiber and the water content, because they contain a lot of natural water, and they're very voluminous. Like you can, like a huge salad, like a huge bowl is so much bulk that will fill you up, but so low in calories. That's what I mean. Like you can just eat it all day because it'll naturally fill you up. So that's why when you mix a salad with, say, some, like, if you do eat meat, some like grilled chicken, there's your protein right there. And if you make a dressing with some olive oil and whatever, there's your healthy fat. So now you've got all 4 things at once, and that's going to keep you fuller for longer. So like when I make some of these things, my favorite go-to, I share this a lot. Sorry if you've heard this a million times, but my favorite go-to is kind of a combination salad. When I have time, like I mentioned that quick one on the go, for like a full meal, like a dinner type salad, I'll take, again, some spinach, some kale. I'll throw in some other like arugula, stuff like that. Dice up a hard-boiled egg, some grilled chicken. I'll throw in the red onion. I'll throw in cucumber. I'll throw in, diced up some avocado, What else is in there? I think that's kind of it. And then I'll do the olive oil and balsamic dressing. So that's got everything, all the fiber, all the protein, all the healthy fats. I eat one, like I can eat a lot and I'm hungry a lot. I eat one of those, like I'm full for like 6 hours. If I eat one of those at like 8 o'clock, I'm not hungry till the next day because it contains all those things. So if you're looking to kind of control appetite, that's why you want to focus on this very voluminous type foods. If you're looking to watch the calories, that's where you want to be careful with how much, say, like avocado or olive oil you use, just because they are more of a naturally, natural foods, but more of a naturally high calorie. So again, this red and green lettuce, very good to kind of mix up or kind of get on the road with getting into greens if you want to kind of take it gentle. And nutrition wise, so we're looking at a portion being around 6 leaves. You've got 15 calories, 2 grams of carbs, a gram of fiber, and a gram of protein. Okay, next one we'll go into is butter lettuce. And no, it's not as delicious as it sounds. And again, probably something you haven't tried. It's not that common. You might know it as like Boston lettuce or Bib lettuce, depending where you're from. But it does have a softer texture. It does have actually like a buttery-ish texture, but more of a sweet flavor. Not sweet, like slightly sweet. So if you haven't seen it before, it's kind of the head of lettuce is sort of folded in, and so it's bright green on the outside and yellow on the inside. And sometimes it has the roots still on it, and that helps preserve the freshness in it. So it's a good choice because it's, low in sodium, good source of vitamin A. It's got a little bit of iron, a little bit of calcium, but again, another good one to throw in the mix and just sort of add a different texture to your salad. So with this, you got a 1.5 cup portion. You got 11 calories, 2 grams of carbs, gram of fiber, and a gram of protein. So, not epically good, but all right. Okay, so next, one of my favorites, and this is arugula, and it's amazing. Like to me, it's hard to consider. Like it's kind of like a herb, but it's technically a green, but the perfect addition to a salad because it's got that, that peppery sort of flavor. It kind of gives it a bit of more spice to your salad. Not a heat or anything like that, but just sort of that natural spice. So it's amazing. Like I almost like salads that are like half arugula, but it's perfect to blend in. Problem is it's not the top nutrition choice. It's more of in this case, we're looking at more of a taste variation, but it's got some vitamin A, it's got a little vitamin C, iron, it's got some calcium, but just not in the content of like the Swiss chard or the spinach or whatever. So again, even if you like it a lot, it shouldn't be the base of what you're eating. It should just be in addition to those other nutrient dense options, just to give it more of that flavor, give it a little more antioxidants. With 2 cups, you're looking at 10 calories, 1.5 grams carbs, 0.5 gram of fiber, and 1 gram of protein. Sorry you didn't get higher arugula. I still love you, but that's how it's got to be. Okay, let's finish off then, and kind of the bottom of the barrel, we're going to do iceberg lettuce, which is probably the least valuable green out there. It's a better choice than a lot of things, but it's just not the ideal one. And ironically, it's the one most people eat. So it's just the most popular for salads. It's fresh, it's crisp, it's relatively strong. Like it holds up in salads, but just not the best base count. It's low calorie, but just doesn't have the high nutrient totals. Honestly, like the nutrients in it are just like, I don't know, they're barely there. It's like I was joking, like you're better to have a cup of water, but there's obviously a little bit, and again, it actually has that high water content, so it's good. Actually, it can hydrate you. It can help in fullness and stuff like that. It's, it's just, I'd throw it in the mix with some other ones, but it's really not the cornerstone of any good salad. It's just there as like kind of on the side. So, you know, when we're looking at a serving, a quarter of a sort of a medium-sized head of lettuce is going to have 19 calories, 4 grams of carbs, 1.5 grams of fiber, and 1 gram of protein. So, I mean, sorry to break it to you, it's just not your best choice. But you can see there's a lot of other good choices. So you're not like, I've given you 10 here. You're not limited just to, you know, 1 or 2 choices. Always have to stick with the kale and the spinach. You can really mix it up, throw these all together, and take some of those tips I said of like some of the salads I use and the different ingredients, you know, talking about like the onion and the chicken and the avocado and the balsamic and all that sort of stuff. So easy to put together, combine, and it can get a lot of nutrition through these things. All right, let's slap a bow on this puppy and call it a day. Thanks for listening. Like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I should be there. And if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for the email newsletter I do. And when you know, it's just a lot of information I basically share only through email. And when you do sign up, the best part is give you this free ebook I threw together. And it's just got a breakdown on some of the best things you want to be including in your diet, things you want to be avoiding. It's kind of got like, you know, 5 of the best for each of those. Spoiler alert, kale and spinach make an appearance. It's also got some recipes and actually a few of those smoothie recipes I talked about. So if you want that, go to regainedwellness.com/guide, sign up there, and you'll get that automatically sent to you. And if you're on the website, just check out some other stuff. I got some other good books and guides. That one I mentioned is free. It's just part of like the signing up for the email, but I have some other like actual books I've had out on like ebooks that have been on Amazon and everything. And if you're on the website, you can see that all there. So regainedwellness.com. So if you go /book, you'll see the books. And if you go regainedwellness.com/guide, that's where you can sign up for that free ebook and the newsletter. Okay, that's enough of all that. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you taking the time to check this out, and I'll see you soon.